The Su-30 MKI remains the undeniable heavy lifter of the Indian Air Force, a platform that has transitioned from being a mere Russian export to a formidable symbol of Indian strategic engineering. To understand its dominance, one must look at the recent events of May 2025, specifically Operation Sindoor, where the Sukhoi demonstrated that age is just a number when paired with a high-speed brain and a lethal reach. While the world was busy dissecting the aftermath of a terrorist strike in Pahalgam, the Indian military was already calibrating a response that would make the 2019 Balakot strikes look like a preliminary rehearsal. Operation Sindoor was not just about retribution, it was a clinical exercise in establishing military asymmetry under a nuclear shadow. The Su-30 MKI, acting as the primary strike and escort platform, bypassed and jammed Pakistan's China-supplied air defense systems with such efficiency that the entire mission was completed in a mere 23 minutes. It is almost poetic how the very systems Islamabad relies on for a sense of security were reduced to expensive lawn ornaments while Indian jets dismantled 9 designated terror hubs across the border. The centerpiece of this operation was the integration of the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile with the Su-30 MKI, a combination that keeps military planners in Rawalpindi awake at night. The BrahMos is not just a missile, it is a 3-ton kinetic nightmare that cruises at Mach 2.8, leaving an adversary with a reaction time that is effectively zero. During Operation Sindoor, these missiles were launched from well within Indian airspace, striking targets with a circular error probable of just 1 meter. The irony is thick here. Pakistan often touts its various Chinese origin assets. Yet during this conflict, pieces of PL-15 missiles and Turkish origin drones were the only things they had to show for their defense efforts. The Su-30 MKI, meanwhile, proved it could carry the heavy BrahMos into a combat environment, execute a pinpoint strike, and return before the enemy's command and control could even process the incoming telemetry. This capability has effectively turned every major strategic installation in Pakistan, from naval bases in Karachi to command centers in Punjab, into a sitting duck. Strategic patience has its limits, and the Su-30 MKI is the tool used when those limits are breached. Beyond its strike role, its performance in air dominance is what truly separates it from the regional competition. The Pakistan Air Force often finds comfort in its F-16 fleet, but a comparison with the Sukhoi reveals a stark reality. The Su-30 FKI is a longitudinal triplane with thrust vectoring nozzles, allowing it to perform maneuvers like Pugachev's Cobra that are physically impossible for an F-16 or the lightweight JF-17. In a dogfight, the Sukhoi is a predator that refuses to stall, using its massive AL-31FP engines to maintain control at extreme angles of attack. During the high-intensity aerial engagements of May 2025, which saw over 100 aircraft in the sky, the Su-30 MKI provided the heavy cover that allowed India to maintain its coercive objectives even when faced with long-range threats like the PL-15. The Sukhoi's defensive suites and its ability to act as a mini AWACS ensure it remains the most dangerous element in the sky. The future of this platform is even more concerning for India's neighbors. As the Super Sukhoi upgrade program gathers pace, this is not just a fresh coat of paint, it is a total internal transplant. The Indian government has cleared a massive 65,000 crore rupee plan to modernize the fleet, incorporating the indigenous Virupaksha AESA radar. This Guyana-based radar will offer a detection range of nearly 400 kilometers, allowing the Sukhoi to see the enemy long before the enemy sees a blip on their outdated screens. With an indigenous content of over 78%, India is stripping away the Russian shackles and replacing them with homegrown technology, including the Astra Mark 1 and Mark 2. Beyond visual range missiles, these upgrades will ensure the Su-30 MKI remains a 4.5 plus generation powerhouse capable of serving until 2055. The era of depending on foreign sensors is ending, replaced by an Indian-centric ecosystem that integrates everything from the Rudram anti-radiation missiles to the upcoming BrahMos NG. This technological sovereignty is a loud diplomatic signal to the world. When India integrates its own flight control systems and radar warning receivers into a platform originally designed in Russia, it is a declaration of civilizational continuity and industrial maturity. The Pakistan Navy, for instance, now has to contend with the fact that any Indian Su-30 MKI patrolling the Arabian Sea can launch a supersonic anti-ship missile from a distance that their surface fleet cannot even scan. This effectively creates an anti-access and area denial zone that neutralizes any naval ambitions Islamabad might harbor. The strategic depth that Pakistan once claimed to have has been completely erased by the range and speed of the Indian Sukhoi. It is a one-sided conversation where the Su-30 MKI holds the megaphone and the only response from across the border is the sound of scrambling to find more Chinese-made band-aids for a crumbling defense posture. Ultimately, the Su-30 MKI is more than just a jet. It is the physical manifestation of India's strategic autonomy. Whether it is deterring a two-front threat or conducting punitive strikes like those in Operation Sindoor, the Sukhoi provides the Indian leadership with options that don't require crossing the nuclear threshold but still deliver a devastating message. The adversary's miscalculation lies in believing that a few imported drones or medium range missiles can offset a platform that is being constantly evolved by Indian scientists. As the Super Sukhoi begins to roll out of the Nashik facilities, the gap between Indian capability and Pakistani desperation will only widen. For the politically aware Indian, the sight of a Su-30 MKI carrying a BrahMos is not just a display of military hardware, it is a validation of the nation's rise and a reminder that the skies above the subcontinent are firmly under Indian management. The narrative of parity is dead and the Sukhoi is the one that buried it.